Right, my name's Caroline Poynton. I don't care. I am recording this today because everything I say about King Charles, I'm correct. I flipping am.
No.
I know. Worse and worse every day.
Has anyone seen the King?
No.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Anyone seen the King? I love you. 1 second, come on phone. Anyone seen the King? Anyone? Here's my lines.
Has anyone seen the King? Anyone? Anyone? No. No one has seen the King, and he has been radio silent when it comes to the grooming gangs.
Yeah, and
now,
anything else?
Nothing new.
Nothing new
King
from
Charles
him,
has
is it?
remained silent for
On
years
everything,
on this,
for years.
both as King and previously when he was the Prince of Wales. In fact, the
Kieran's getting all of that lovely doubling money, wouldn't he?
have stayed silent. I believe that this shows us exactly who and what they protect.
And what they
Today,
really are about.
we are getting down to the story that you won't hear anywhere else. Because many people say they can't be political, they can't comment on this.
No, they can't.
So let's just look
they can't be
at
political,
some
they can't
facts
comment on
before
this,
we
they
get
put
into
it
this, insiders.
The
The reason
rubbish.
the grooming gangs has become politicised is because the entire establishment covered it up, and so it fell on survivors and victims, and a crowd-funded independent investigation and report to expose this. We have seen whistleblowers be demonised by the entire establishment for decades for purely talking on the facts of what's happened.
King Charles sitting there as
well. You are going to hear things in this episode that are explosive because no one else is aggregating this information and stripping out the PR spin, stripping out
I'm stripping it all out.
And what I give you today, it's all factual. I am a channel that is based in evidence. You will also be hearing from Raja Miah, the whistleblower, and he previously was awarded by the late Queen for his work. Yet when he became a problem, one may say, for the establishment, he has heard nothing. In fact, not only has he been ostracised, but he's also had the full state weaponised against him. I want to take you back, okay? When there was a school shooting and it happened in British Columbia, King Charles issued a personal statement within hours. He was profoundly shocked, deeply saddened. Yeah. We hear these words a lot, don't we? And when a storm hit in South and Southeast Asia, he issued a statement. Yeah. When Jesse Jackson died, he issued a statement. And when a fire broke out in Hong Kong, he also issued a statement. Brilliant. This is a man that issues statements frequently. From the gastro world. Personally. And they're always very curated, I would say. Yeah, but for the rest of the world, not for us. Never issued one for England. The grooming gangs. Yeah. Not one. Why? Look, here we are. Right? All these statements you can issue. And it happened in British Columbia. King Charles issued a personal statement within hours. He was profoundly shocked, deeply saddened. We hear these words a lot, don't we? And when a storm hit in South and Southeast Asia, he issued a statement. Fair enough, but he's not wishing anything for England, is he? He issued a statement, and when a fire broke out in Hong Kong, he also issued a statement. Hong Kong? This is a man that issues statements frequently, publicly, personally, and they're always... Yeah. This man, obviously, he does all this. He never does it for England. That issues statements frequently, publicly, personally, and they're always very curated, I would say. but
Not
he
written by
has
him.
never issued one about the grooming gangs.
No.
Not one word.
No.
Not from him,
What about
not
Crane's
from
House
the
or that?
institution he
About anything
leads,
that's happened
and
in
not
England?
specifically about the systemic rape, trafficking and abuse of thousands of
Unless it's
children,
about fucking
girls and boys.
Ramadan
Now, you
Eid.
might wonder,
They're the only statements he seems to ever issue. Which this is why it is a freaking problem. And he needs to get out.
why did I just say a word that
I
sounded
don't
like the
care,
word
he can
I
get
should
the
have said?
fuck out
That
for all I
is
care
because for
for
some
himself.
ludicrous reason, there seem to be censors online whereby
I
if
won't
you
be
actually
crying.
say these words,
Like I won't
then
cry,
your
no one's
video
crying with
doesn't get
Stan
to
and no
people.
one will be
So
crying
I'm
with
just trying
Charles.
to dance around
We've
it
had
to
enough
make
of
sure
them
that
all.
my video
I
can
know.
reach as many of
I
you
think
as
people, the
possible.
country have just had it
Now let's
enough
not
of them.
forget, this is girls
Let's
and
not
boys
forget,
that have
this is how
been
about could be
affected
my little girl's life.
across Rotherham,
Yep,
Rochdale,
not still, I'm
Telford,
only in Bury.
Oldham, Oxford,
And it's happened to
and
me
more than a dozen other British
when I was a child.
towns. Although
So,
again, it's highly plausible that this could in fact be going on in every big town and
Yeah,
city
and it
around
still
the
is
country.
going on,
Children
that's the
as young as
problem.
4, some in care, some
Yeah.
from troubled homes. All of them failed by the police who arrested the fathers trying to rescue them, by social
Not King
workers
Charles
who
not
ruled
come
it
out and say
a
one
lifestyle
thing about
choice, and by authorities
Or the royal
who,
family. Any of them,
inquiry
really.
after inquiry, has found they knew
it. To be honest, we're
and
not
did
even Kate and William
nothing
either.
because they were all afraid of being called
No,
racist.
I'm not sure it's
So
like
here
Kate
we
and
have
William.
the biggest stain on our national history, and our king, an entire royal family, have stayed radio
The king, all of them,
silent.
yeah. That's
This,
not good.
for me, sorry, is
It's
totally
disgusting.
unforgivable.
Yeah.
Because keeping a child safe shouldn't become a politicised area where they can then say, we can't talk on that. And what you will hear in this episode
Well, we should be
is
allowed
the
to talk.
king
On
has
this is our king.
advocated to keep children safe, but just not in this country. But more on that shortly. For context, the National Grooming Gangs
that's why all the
inquiry
money's
is now
gone.
formally underway, allegedly. It started in April of this year, 2026, and that was 3 years after the last major inquiry was reported. More than a decade after the J report first laid bare what happened in Rotherham alone. And through all of it, through every inquiry, every resignation, every crisis, every headline,
The king and the royal family
has said
have been
nothing. It's just batted away, buried. So you're not
He's
meant
involved,
to
that's why.
pay attention to this. You're not meant to focus on the
No, we're not.
fact that the institution have said nothing.
The institution is a failure. And King Charles is a fucking failure. We're not meant to think that, are we? That King Charles is a failure. Well, I don't care what he is because he's going.
That they can't be political. This is a king that has spent his entire existence.
I tried to throw the Pope under the bus. Pope Leo under the bus for himself.
Still as the king.
Now he can go under the bus with Pope Leo.
Very,
Sorry.
very political. So
Get
I want
gone
to do
from all.
something today that's very straightforward. I want to hold up what Charles has found his
And unfortunately, I can't hold
specifically
what they need to do in Italy, the same as what we have to do in England.
Once chosen to address.
Well, that has to be down to the Italian people, and we have to do it in England for the English people.
Subtle. Before we get into this, can I remind you that I am 100% independent, unfunded, unfiltered, and absolutely unapologetic in my search to bring you the truth. If you are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. So let's talk about what he shows up for. And this is all factual. There's no conspiracy here. There's no spin. This is the real story.
Yeah, because he's a twat.
The PR spin doctors
He
won't
needs to go, doesn't he?
So let's start with climate change. Oh, that field mouse, the field mouse. It gets everywhere. I'm not sure about you, But I don't lose sleep over climate change.
No.
Anything
King
that's
Charles
attached
does,
to the
though.
World Economic Forum, parasitic global
King
elites,
Charles will leap over
agendas being
everything.
pushed.
Over that,
I'm
yeah.
not bothered. I'm not bothered because
No.
there is so much rot in all of these big institutions. And
Exactly. And King Charles
they
is one of
always
them.
tend to focus on things that real world people, it doesn't come into our brains. That is not to say that there aren't problems with the climate, but look at what
Well, we know
he
there is
has
because they've done
put
it.
his
They're creating it,
weight
haven't they?
behind for decades.
Problems.
Now, he's been sounding the alarm on the environment since 1970. And at age 21, he gave his first major speech warning about, get ready, plastic pollution.
Oh yeah, King
He's
Charles.
spoken at COP summits since their creation in 1995, and he gave the opening address at COP28 in Dubai in 2023.
Yeah, when he got his money.
Telling world leaders they were dreadfully far off track. In October 2025, he personally attended a pre-COP30 event at the Natural History Museum in London. Climate is not a passive interest for Charles. It's a decade-long personal crusade, pursued with sustained energy, and this is at the highest international level. Then, insiders. Then there is the British Asian Trust. Now, he founded this himself in 2007, and he remains its royal founding patron. Just in June, he attended its annual gala dinner at the Peninsula Hotel in London.
Yeah, but
350 guests, star-studded room, and over £1 million was raised on the night. He was there in person, receiving a framed photograph marking the trust's origins, while the room celebrated 18.8 million lives improved across South Asia. Now, what is extraordinary, and I am not taking away from the fact that this trust and many other trusts do good work, but this trust's programs include child protection work. And I hear you ask, where is that child protection work? Well, let me tell you, insiders, it's in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Protecting children from transportation, abuse, and exploitation.
Not the opposite way round.
Charles has been personally driving this and been the actual driving
force behind
that work for nearly 20 years. And he even appointed Katy Perry as an ambassador, specifically for its Children's Protection Fund.
And these are the questions that I was asking you. Why would you want to give her?
The mind boggles, doesn't it, at this point? Katy Perry,
horrible.
Out of everyone you ambassador, you'd pick Katy Perry. Okay, all right, Charles. And he has attended event after event, championing its mission. And this is what becomes so frustrating, because in the UK, there are so many
don't you like the
children
truth now about King Charles? That like keep saying
but
sorry,
when it
don't
comes to
understand
conversations around abuse and things happening on
just don't like
home
the truth
turf,
about King Charles, do you?
you're told he can't do it. It's political.
Yeah.
He can back
do what
the
he wants,
British Asian Trust. He can turn up for them like clockwork, and he can put his weight, his voice, and his name not just behind it, but right at the front to ensure that the money's raised, that there's all eyes on the British Asian Trust. And that is what continues to enable it to raise all of this money and to improve the lives of so many children in Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Because they're doing the game from Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Oh, Islam.
Oh.
We've had the Ramadan greetings posted to the official royal account. The first ever Iftar dinner at Buckingham Palace in March 2025. And the first ever Iftar at Windsor Castle, also in 2025.
That should be chopped
off. 2025. It was a good year for Islam and the royals, wasn't it? And
Brilliant.
then, not forgetting the King
Let's not
Charles
forget.
III wing opened at the Oxford Centre for
Yeah.
Islamic Studies
Yeah,
in
this is
July
where the money went. From the
2025.
suitcases.
I mean, it's like
The dodgy money that was
a
taken out
plot and a
of the
strategy
post
between
office
King
and all
Charles
this.
and Islam,
and
isn't
pointed.
it? 2025 Islam, it's going to be your year. Christians, forget it, he's busy. I hear you say, what's he busy doing? Well, he's busy advocating for Islam in the field mouse, isn't he?
Yeah.
And don't forget, okay, there
Islam
was
in
a
the field
warm
mouse.
personal tribute to a Muslim head of state sacrifice during Ramadan,
Delivered
delivered from the floor of
yeah.
a state banquet.
Yeah.
We've also got, let's factor these in,
That
the
dodgy money is
individual
on.
statements. The ones that show he is not simply
I know, just
engaged
King Charles
with
has
big
sold us down the river.
institutional causes, but
I'll
is
tell you
paying
now, King Charles
personal
has sold the
attention
country
to
down the
the
river now.
world. British Columbia,
With Pope Leo and the rest
Hong
of the
Kong,
bastards out there.
Jesse Jackson, Southeast Asian storms. Each
I mean,
one
don't get
of
me wrong,
these
great
is
for
a
some things
deliberate
that he's
choice to
doing.
put the weight of the crown behind a moment
But,
of human suffering.
Yeah.
But don't bank on him putting the weight of the crown behind human suffering in
England.
the UK. Forget it. Not going to happen.
On our kids.
Because this is the record of a man who shows up, who speaks up, and who chooses to
And that's
use
why he's
his
a fucking
voice.
pedo and a
And
devil.
that is why it makes the
That's
silence
why I call him
on the
poltergeist,
ruling
and he has to go. If
not
get him gone, he has to
an
go.
oversight.
Poltergeist.
I believe it
Got
is
rid of fucking
absolutely
Hitler. No,
a
I've got another
deliberate
bit of an Hitler
decision.
left.
Because when
Now
you
it's
look
poltergeist.
at pulling that string, you pull that
Other
first
people have done it
thread
before with the
that
king.
opens
But
up
I've been
where
saying it has
corruption
been done
and
before.
deep
It's not
institutional
violently,
rot
it's not
is.
anything, it's political.
The House of Cards
The way it
falls
is,
down.
politically.
I'll sidestep
Has to be
here.
political,
I
doesn't
had
it?
a boyfriend before I was married, and he was a pathological liar. And
No,
I started investigating him, and you pull that thread, and all of a sudden, when I unlocked one lie, and you know, kind of corruption from him, 1 became 3, 3 became 6,
4.
6 became 18, and so forth. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And what the grooming gang scandal does is you
bigger and bigger.
realise, well, it's not just councils where this corruption has gone on.
Like I've just
It's
said,
the
I've been
police.
saying all this all the time.
Well,
Police,
it's not just the police. We've seen the
social
government,
services, governments, every single government.
certain people.
Why
with king's
every single
honours
government
and
has
queen's
failed?
honours, and they've been complicit
And they've got all honours from the Queen and all
in this
this.
scandal.
Look, the
They
kids
knew
in each town
about it,
are an
and
honour.
they've covered it up.
Yeah.
And so,
There you go.
if the royal family
They are
acknowledge
complicit.
this, then they are acknowledging that the entire institution,
Is failed.
you know,
is
and
corrupted.
I'm talking about police, councils,
The
government,
monarchy
this entire
and the monarchy
framework
together
that governs us, that we live under,
is
it's
all
rotten to the core.
rotten to the core. It all
And
needs
so,
to go.
what do? Let's just sweep it
Sweep it
under the carpet.
Well, we're not
They'll
sweeping
move
it
on.
under the carpet this time.
The public will move on.
No, we won't.
But we won't move on, just like we didn't move on
We
when
won't.
it came to
Yeah.
the Epstein files.
The Epstein files, that's not
This
really
isn't
been dealt
going
with yet.
away, and
The Epstein
the
files haven't been
silence
done yet.
from
It's damage
all
on the way,
members
it will.
of the royal family
Oh, yeah. Sign
is
up from all the
now
royal family, yeah.
actively,
What about
I believe,
Prince
turning
Andrew?
royalists and monarchists away from supporting the institution.
Yep. Well, I don't
Because
support
we're
them, I've
looking at
never
a
have.
fundamental ground level
Why should
of
we?
keeping a child safe. There's nothing political about that, and there's nothing more important than that.
Well, there's no
So
point
when
in
we see
keeping your
certain
own country
members
safe
of the royal
as a king.
family
That's
backing
what's
the
meant to be the king.
NSPCC or
He's keeping
turning
his own
out
country
to
safe, his
support
own faith safe,
various
the people in the
campaigns
country
for
safe.
children's
But
development.
all of that, that's what's part of the king's role to
It
be.
looks hypocritical. It looks like
That's what a
everything
king is
they're
meant to
doing
be.
is disingenuous because,
And I suppose
We're
when
all
the government
screaming about
fails,
what's
the
going
king
on.
needs to step up.
and they are not acknowledging this
No,
is
they're not.
happening.
It's not stepped up,
And
has it?
this is incredible.
I'm going to say in this situation
toxic.
where
So let's
the
look
government's
at what
gone
King
and
Charles has never
the
said.
country's
And
not really being
I
run
know
by
what you're
anyone.
thinking. We haven't
not a
got
good
a
situation.
year to listen to this podcast, and you'd be entirely right. But I will go through it efficiently and quickly for you, insiders. Because what's happened in this country on the grooming gangs and what the
And
king has
everything
said
else.
or not said
No,
at
not
each
just the
point.
grooming gangs, but
So in
there's a lot of everything,
2022,
but this is one
we had
part.
the independent
I
inquiry
mean, it's like
into
Henry
child
Novak's case when he
abuse.
got stabbed.
7
All
years
the
of
people that have
work
lost their
and
lives
20
to these things.
recommendations. The final
And they're not
report
just
was
people that have lost
published,
their lives and they're
and
dead.
it
People that are alive.
documented systemic exploitation of children in
And
towns
people like my little
across
girl that don't
England.
need to go through this.
It found institutional
Where they
failure
can,
on a
I'm going
national
to say,
scale.
look, this is where they can stop
King
it
said
going on now a bit.
absolutely nothing.
I'm going to say, but
January
they're not going to say anything, is it? Because
2025,
they're carrying
the
it
Home
on.
Secretary told the House of Lords that
The
not
House of
one
Lords.
of those 20 IICSA recommendations
This is why they're all
had
failing.
been
This is why all
implemented.
governments are failing,
Not
because they've all been involved.
Not one in 3 years. And the King said
Well,
absolutely
Yeah, they
nothing.
can't get past the king.
In early
Well, it's the top
2025,
man, that's what I've been
Baroness
saying, the
Casey
elephant in the
published
room.
her national audit.
It's good
Now,
this
it
is coming
found
out.
tens of thousands of
It's about
victims.
time.
It found that the ethnicity of perpetrators had, in her
I mean,
words,
it's not just
been
this.
shilled away from
I'm
by
not going to say it's just
authorities
this subject.
for
It's a
years.
lot of subjects with him.
It found that children were not being seen as children. And the King said absolutely nothing. October 2025, 4 survivors resigned from the oversight panel of the newly announced Grooming Gangs
Yeah,
inquiry.
they speak.
Both shortlisted chairs withdrew. The inquiry was described publicly as being in crisis before it had even formally started. This is deeply concerning. We see investigations opening up. We see, oh, things were missed. Oh, we'll do better next time. There is no time to keep saying this. Nothing ever happens. And you guessed it, insiders, the King said nothing. Let's go to April 2026. The inquiry formally began under Baroness Longfield, and the King said nothing. So even if you wanted to play devil's advocate and you wanted to say, well, Rupert Lowe crowdfunded for the new investigation and, the independent inquiry because the government had failed and we have seen cover-up after cover-up. And King Charles, he couldn't really be drawn into anyone that is politically affiliated. Well, I've laid out clearly how there have been so many opportunities when he could have done something, but he hasn't. So if there's any spin saying, oh, because Rupert Lowe's involved in this, the King can't comment, that's absolute tosh, because this has been going on decades, on for decades and decades.
Before Rupert Lowe came
Now,
and did
compare
anything.
that with one
Don't put
specific
anything on
moment,
that.
okay, in early 2026.
They're trying to stick for
when
Rupert Lowe.
allegations emerged involving
It's
a
not Rupert
senior
Lowe that's done
member
this, it's
of the royal
themselves, man.
family and
Yeah.
the Epstein case.
Yeah, senior member
Buckingham
of our
Palace
family.
issued a prompt
Sandra.
statement. Their
Really?
thoughts and sympathies, it said, remained with the victims of any and all forms of abuse.
Yeah.
The Grooming Gangs inquiry had started within weeks of that statement, but there was no equivalent. There was no equivalent acknowledgement for the thousands and thousands of children whose abuse that very inquiry was established to examine. Any and all forms of abuse. Purposefully
Because he
vague,
changed
I
his
would
religion
say,
to Islam.
almost created so the palace could say,
bowing down to
we can't comment
Islam.
on this. This
He
is
changed his
this
religion.
is a statement now that
There
covers
we have
all
it.
forms of
The king
abuse
has
and
fallen,
just
he's
keep
gone, he's
directing
failed, he's
people
gone.
back to it. What
needs
is
to go.
shocking is the Grooming Gangs inquiry had started within weeks of that statement,
Yeah.
but there was no equivalent comment from any members of the royal family that acknowledged thousands and thousands of children were failed by the state, and this was covered up. So one situation prompted a statement and the other did not, but both involved the abuse of children. The difference is which children and who was responsible for failing them. King Charles holds patronages for over, get ready, 800 charities. The environment,
Yeah. So
the
I said,
arts, armed
and I was asking
forces,
Meta AI all this the other
agriculture,
day and it couldn't answer me.
cancer, and don't forget he has the Oxford Centre for Islamic
Yeah.
Studies, as we know. He has the British Asian Trust, which, as we know, does wonderful work
Not for
protecting
England.
children, but obviously just in South Asia. He holds no patronage for any UK
Okay.
charity whose sole focus is child abuse or
That's what I've said.
exploitation
I've
in
asked
this
that.
country. The NSPCC,
Well, I
the
asked that,
UK's
and that's why I
leading
couldn't
child
answer me.
protection charity,
Because I was
I'd
correct,
argue
wasn't
on
I?
that, but that's a whole nother stream,
Hey,
is not his.
that's good.
Bernardo's, which runs
Yeah, it's not
specific
his.
exploitation services around Britain, is not his. Now, patronages are not automatic. They are chosen through a very deliberate review process. When Charles became king in 2022, his household reviewed over 1,000 of them.
AI, Met AI, if you had
Every
anything.
patronage he has held as Prince
For
of Wales,
adults,
everyone
like
has
me,
held,
disadvantaged
plus
adults with not a
others.
lot of money,
More than
just get scholarships
800
into
were retained
Oxford,
or
any
newly
sort of
assigned across the royal family.
funds or any sort of
That review was an
charities
active
or anything like that
exercise in
for
deciding
adults.
what the Crown
I mean,
publicly
okay, we
championed.
know we're talking about
And at the
children,
end of it,
but also,
child
you
abuse
know,
in the UK,
I also do
an
say
issue
that
at
it
the
does need
heart
to be,
of a
it does should
national
have something for
scandal
adults as
that
well.
has already consumed this country for a decade, received none of Charles's
And okay, not every adult is going to be able to get
plus
picked and go.
patronages.
There's only going to be a certain
Here
amount
is
of
the
places
detail
or
that
whatever,
stops
but
me.
it's not the point,
The
is
British
it? The
Asian
point
Trust
is
does child protection work.
that gives
In
people,
Pakistan,
the adults
in
like
India,
me,
Charles attends their galas,
a chance to
raises
be able to
millions
build a
for their
career.
programs, champions their
I'm going to
children's
say, but that gives
protection
adults
fund,
like myself
and
and other
celebrity
people a chance
ambassadors
to
he's
build the
there
career up
alongside. So
and
he
build
will
a
help
life.
fund
How are you meant to build a
child
life if you're not going to
protection
get a
in
chance?
South Asia.
Yeah,
And to be
because
clear
it's all
about
about
what
Asia.
I am and I am not saying.
Yeah.
I am not saying that the British Asian Trust doesn't do important work.
I'm not saying they don't.
It does. Some
I'm not
people
calling
may
any
think
of it.
climate change is a legitimate crisis.
Yeah,
And
but for in
to
India
a
and
point,
Pakistan, not for in our
engagement
country.
has value.
That needs to be done for in India and
I'm
Pakistan,
arguing
not
about
in this
something
country.
much simpler here. There are thousands and thousands of people in this country,
We do
British
send aid.
children, that are his subjects. These children have been failed, girls and boys. They were told by every institution that was supposed to protect them that what was happening to them was their own fault. These people have waited for years for anyone in authority to acknowledge what has been done to them. It is not political, okay, to say that what has happened to these children is absolutely abhorrent. It requires no comment from King Charles on ethnicity, immigration, or policing. It requires only that the King of England sees the victims, that he says their suffering matters, that the Crown, which shows up for climate summers and ITFA dinners and star-studded Asian galas, also shows up for the children of Rotherham. He found the language for British Columbia,
Because he's not
for
English.
Hong Kong, for Jesse Jackson,
because he's not British,
for
why would he bother?
president's sacrifice during Ramadan,
Why would he bother?
for children of transportation in India
He wants
and
to do his in the
Pakistan.
English Guild.
But he has not found it for Rochdale,
Gosh.
for Telford,
Nazis.
for the children who are failed by
Because he is the
every
Nazi.
institution in this country,
Come
and who
on.
have now been failed by
What's
his
up,
silence.
Let's-y Poo?
And I believe that silence is a choice made by a man who, as we have just established, does not struggle to find words when he wants to use them.
Yeah.
The children of Rotherham are his subjects too. We are now going to hear from Raja Mir. Raja was given an MBE by the late Queen. His work has been imperative in exposing the deep institutional failure of the grooming gangs. Now, you would think Raja would have been invited to meet with the royal family behind the scenes so they could potentially find out what's going on. No, absolute radio silence.
I'm going to say maybe get help to write a speech.
And someone watching might say, well, hang on, there's many,
Like
many
I've
great
said.
activists and Perhaps Raja just isn't on.
I mean, I'm not saying
radar.
that. I'm not actually saying that.
But
You should just
Raja
have
is
to
on
say
the
one
radar
about the
because,
rooming
as we
gangs.
know, the king meets
I'm
with
saying that
the
he
Prime
needs to say
Minister
speak to
every
the
Wednesday.
public as of exactly what's
The
really going on
entire
as well.
government have
What's going on now?
tried
Like
to
the government's not
silence
hearing.
Raja.
Things are a bit
He's
shaky.
had the mainstream
Whatever.
media used as a weapon
I'm thinking
against
that's
him.
well.
So it is simply
The
impossible
king should be the person that comes out
the royal
and
family
speaks.
are not aware of who Raja is. Take a listen to this. Have you had any support from...
When all the riots last year were going off the
you have an
kingdom.
OBE?
Oh yeah, right,
Have you
yeah.
had any support from
Oh yeah, I know who
King
he is,
Charles,
yeah.
or have you
No.
met behind the scenes
I
with,
know who
with
he is,
any
guys,
of the
yeah.
royal family? Because I am very critical of the fact that from my extensive research, I have not seen the royal family come out and support the victims of the grooming gangs, and I will never have anyone tell me that stopping a child being raped is political.
I remember my
It's
mother's
not political.
proudest day
He's
of
meant to
her
be the king.
existence with me was when I went to get
It's
my
meant to
MD.
swear
I went
upon
to get
oath
she
of
sat on the
God,
front row
Jesus.
whilst the Queen pinned it on
It's
me.
to protect
And
women,
I come from a
children,
family
and the
of,
land.
royalists, you know, people
Well,
who really
protect the
admired
land, the women,
Queen
the
and
children,
admired the royal
obviously,
family, meant everything to
the
her.
land, the
And
people.
she was so disappointed.
That's, you
at
know,
what
part
was
of parcel,
taking
isn't
place.
it?
And her and her friends would talk to me.
And he's not
And
protecting any of that.
they were appalled at what these men were doing, and they wanted something. Why isn't the Queen
Great on him
doing
trying to protect Pakistan and India, but then
Why
he
have
should
they
go and be the
speaking
king of
out?
Pakistan and India then.
And not once, not
I'm
even
gonna say,
in a
mate,
speech, in a talk, not even, you know, the
no offence
Prince's
to him,
Trust or the
whatever,
King's
but
Trust or whatever it is, a charity.
no offence to Pakistan and
Why-
India,
forget
but
me.
he's
I'm
the king to this
controversial and
country,
all
yeah,
that.
mate.
Why has Maggie Oliver not had a sit down?
You're not controversial.
But you understand, it's easy for these people to decide, you know, because I'm a campaigner. I'm here to campaign. I'm not here to. No, it's not the best use of my skills to put an arm around a survivor. There are many of you who can do that. My job is to explain what's took place and articulate how we put a stop to it and campaign to end this, deliver justice. And the royal family won't touch this, or it's a shame. And none of the establishment, those in the establishment, you know,
Well, they
a
should
lord
be.
this or a lady that, who could and should speak out.
And I
as
hope
they
that
have done
William
in
and
the past
Katie,
on other
right?
issues, they won't touch
Because they're going to
this.
have to start on a
And they
different
won't
front
touch
to
this
King
because
Charles
I think in the end,
if they want to be the king and queen.
it's too close to home. You know, the child
I think
abuse.
they need to take a
in its
different
widest
thread then,
sense
and they
cuts
need
across all
to.
themes, doesn't it? You know, and then you look at this particularly. Katie Lamb, the Conservatives now, in the 14
We'll
years they
smash
said very
everything
little,
in.
but now, better late than never is what I say
With a
now.
sledgehammer.
I'll take the support wherever I get it. Stood
So
up in
Finley
Parliament
is
and
starting
now
again.
quite
The
comfortably
whole
using
system,
the terms
obviously.
industrial scale
Mm.
rape of
And we're not just talking about
industrial
just
scale.
rape, it's
We are
just
talking
all
over
sorts.
100,000 children, right? Over at least 4 decades, by the same network of men, using the same methodology, and covered up by the same political class.
By the same people.
When we look at King Charles, he has Professor Jay on the board of the Prince's Trust. Now, Professor Jay obviously wrote the safeguarding report.
Alexis Jane, yeah, she one of the first ones to come out, the Rotherham stuff. Alexis Jane's report made reference to Asian men. Understands it deeply. They should be, at the very least, support a scheme of therapy and for the survivors, because there isn't anything out there. You know, do some research. What method works? Put that together. You don't have to get involved in the politics. You can get involved in supporting the survivors and putting some pastoral support around them. So we don't have another Sarah Tetley. We don't have another child, a young woman who sits on the train.
Yes, but it's supporting around me and getting a little girl back to me.
We have that. He has that duty. At least.
Well, part of the King's role is to provide stability, and he has previously opened the doors to Windsor Castle and invited
about people
up
like
to
myself
300 Muslims to
and sort of
break
help
their
people like
iqbal.
me
Yet,
get the little
the
girl back
people
from
like
London.
yourself are having the entire
I'll
force
stop
of
it
the state
repeating,
weaponised
repeating.
against them for speaking out about the mass
Social
rape
services
of
need to
children.
stop taking children away
The
from
royal family, I believe,
parents.
are now complicit
I'm
in
gonna
this
say.
because they are not
Unless
speaking
there is
out. And King Charles, it is
a
impossible
real
he is
reasons
not
of
aware
real abuse.
of what has gone on since he has taken, the role of king.
And that way there won't be as
And
many children in
think
care
it's-
because most of them will be at home with the
picked aside,
parents.
It's picked aside in terms of that multicultural utopia.
And when we get the country back,
has been pushed on
to have a country
is on
back,
that side, and this challenges
even the
that.
poor will be able to
And
be
it's not
survive
comfortable.
again.
I'm a product of multiculturalism, Lauren. That's what I am. So it isn't an attack on multiculturalism.
I mean, I
it's
should
an
be
attack
middle
on
class.
Multiculturalism
But I'm
has
poor.
been used by
I
evil
should be in the
men
middle class.
to do evil things.
These
The same way
people are in the
the
middle
Catholic
class
Church was
range.
used
They
by
should be
evil
more
men
in the higher
to do
middle
evil
class
things.
range.
So
And I should be
we've got to address this. And
just in
it's
an
got
average
to
wage,
come
but I'm not.
from
Nobody is.
someone with stature whose voice will be heard. And the
Well,
king, you have that focus on your channel, and I agree with you. The
Yeah.
king has a responsibility.
Ability to speak.
Lauren. And
That's a
even if
duty,
it's
yeah,
to do a
mate, to
small
speak.
thing, even if it's to open up his castle and host something for the survivors, even if it's to use the King's Fund to set up a scheme to support therapies.
Well, I was going to say
trials to see
support
which
like
one will
something
work
like
the best,
for me,
and then roll that out
where we've
across
had
the
lives
country.
taken away
There's a
and
duty
not
to
much
do that,
education because of all of it.
these are our
So they
children,
can put that into Oxford for people, Cambridge, people like myself that are a bit older, but it's not the end of the world.
Be in this mess if these children were ethnic minorities.
And you can put adults through
this mess if these children were
Cambridge and Oxford.
Insiders,
And he
I
could
would
do
love
that.
to hear what
Why
you
not?
think of today's episode. I think it's such an
And I
important
don't think it's a waste of
conversation to have.
of a
For
charity.
me,
I think
every
it's a
time
good
I
fund
see
of a
members of the
charity,
royal family
considering they want to
going out to
axe
Ascot
the
or
welfare
posing for
budget.
pictures or advocating
Get
for
people back into
children
work.
and the silence on the grooming gangs
That
remains.
sounds.
I am becoming more
You should
and more
have
angry
more-
at this situation. I am finding it
Well,
very
more things
hard
for children,
to
a lot better
support
things.
an institution
Better we
that
need
has
to
stayed
redo the
radio
schools, and then
silent
also
on this. I think it's
for the adults
unforgivable.
like myself,
And like I
and
say,
a bit younger than me,
Part
and
of
maybe a
me
bit
could
older than me.
understand them saying we can't
You know, up to your 60s, I
or,
suppose.
attach ourselves
Let's
in
say up
any
to
way to
60s.
this independent investigation because Rupert
I
Lowe
can
is
say that I've lost
affiliated,
education through
politically.
whatever.
I understand that, but when you see their radio silence for decades,
Start of
and the
education
fact
more.
they've known about this,
Yeah,
and it
their
is
radio
the
silence from the
institutions
king.
in the UK that
But
have
no,
behaved like
told
this.
Jack because he
then
gave like that.
This, for me,
So
is where
therefore,
I
we
feel
should have
like
to
I'm
do what
at
Pope
a
Leo, what they
crossroads,
want to do to Pope
because
Leo. Jihad wants
I
to chop
don't
Pope
care
Leo's
for-
head off.
I'm not
in the
interested
Colosseum.
in
So I'm not being
seeing
funny,
pictures with
but we
jewels
can't just
on,
throw the Pope
crowns
under
and
the bus and not
stigmas.
King Charles
No.
as well. No,
This is
this is
a
something.
king that has a very, very simple remit to some extent, because it fundamentally comes down to
Well, I know she can't
Defender
say
of
some
the
of the words
faith
that I'm going to
and to
say.
provide stability.
Defender of the faith,
Now we
but he's
can rule
not.
out
But
he's
he's
not
fake.
defending the faith. Okay, Bishop Kai is doing more to do that.
Yeah.
But when we look at stability, this is an institution whereby his police, his
There's
government,
police that belong to
every
King Charles. Yeah.
establishment within the UK is rotten to the core.
And it belongs to the
And
king, the royal family.
The days of
monarchy.
say nothing, people will move on, sweep it
No.
under the carpet. Those are long gone. Those are long gone.
They were Queen
And so,
Victoria's fucking days.
When we are being gaslit and spun a lie that
And Queen
he can't be
Elizabeth's days.
political,
And
this
they can't
is
be anymore.
absolute rubbish.
We've got phones and technology,
And
like
this
you're
is a
saying.
man that has done nothing
And the
but
technology
be
is coming
political.
along.
So it's an active
And
and deliberate choice.
They're
I
not going to be able to
believe,
stop
for
Elon Musk
every
when it
single
comes
member
along, really.
of the royal
With the
family
AI and technology more
to stay
coming.
silent on this and to pretend it's
I'm
not a
all for
problem.
this technology,
And
actually.
They think we will move on. But
No.
we've seen with the
No.
Epstein files,
No, we can't move on.
this is simply not going to
Yeah, we
happen.
can move on,
the
yeah.
longer
I tell you what,
that
the forgiveness can begin
tactic
when we
is
get rid of
used
his head.
towards the public and
when
the
King
victims
Charles
and
is
the
axed off that
survivors.
throne.
I believe the angrier
In the correct way,
people
really.
become
He can
because
go, or he can get
advocating for
axed off the
Charles
throne by the
is
people.
not political. I'd love to hear what you think.
Alright,
on
well, it's
subjects.
definitely
Please
political.
drop me a message
I
below
do,
this
I will.
video
I
and
like
tell
that,
me
thank
where do
you.
you stand on this. You
Well,
might think
where I
I've been
stand
too
is he
hard on
needs to
King
leave.
Charles and the royal family,
I want him,
or
he
you might
needs to
agree
leave.
that ultimately there
And
is no
I think
excuse
Katie and
for this
William have got a
silence,
lot to
particularly
think
when
about
he has done such active work
before
and
they
set up the British Asian Trust
become
from
the king and the
2007,
queen.
which
They
works
need to
to
severely
keep children
say,
in the likes of
are they,
Pakistan safe.
I'm going
But
to say
when it's in the UK,
I'm going to say what side are
doesn't
they
seem
really
to be
on?
on the radar or
Is it,
a
are they going
priority.
to be
Thank
the
you.
king and the queen of the country and do what a king and the queen is meant to do for the country? Or are they going to be on somebody else's sides?
He's riding a wave
Another
of
country's
banter.
side, I mean, we can all be on anyone's side. It's not about, like, oh, you don't have to like them, you don't, it's about, if you're going to be the king, like saying the queen, then he's going to have to take one side. They will have to take one side. Which side is it? Are they going to pick for the England? Or are they going to pick the same as King Charles and bugger it all up? Oh, I don't really want to watch football. I can't stand football. Well, thank you from Caroline.